Okay, so today we'll so in previous class we have discussed all the points about the abstract classes, right? How it works. So any method or any class you mention is a abstract. So on that particular class or method you cannot implement the body. So the syntax of the abstract class is or for the method is abstract void abstract, so no method body implementation. Okay, so today we'll see how exactly works the abstract classes or methods. Let me get the package session 15. Okay, now first we'll take example of, suppose, bike. There will be one class, then TVS, it would be another class, Honda, one child class, Yamaha. So bike would be parent class and these three would be child classes. Okay, so let's create the first class. This is bike class. Bike class. Okay, so now this is bike class and we'll put abstract this bike class. Okay, this is our bike class and we'll create one constructor. So constructor is very simple, class name, bracket start, bracket close. So this is our constructor. So we'll do one printout here, bike class constructor. Create, for example. Okay, now we'll create another method, abstract method now. Okay, create an abstract method. Okay, how to create abstract method? So the keyword will be abstract and void, suppose run. So this is the syntax, right? If you see here, the syntax is abstract void abstract method and bracket start bracket close, then semicolon. Okay, so this is the abstract class, and just for a note, abstract.
Makan, one doubt.
Hmm.
When you created no class, okay, bike
Hmm.
class, constructor, okay,
Hmm.
for class there is a abstract. We need to add that one.
Which one? Constructor will not put abstract.
No, pa.
Constructor
Starting
would be
public after there is a abstract. No,
this is the
we
this
need
is
to
how
add
we write. We have to add it.
because I didn't add in my system. Okay, that's the reason I'm getting error.
You have to add it.
Okay.
Not have body. So basically, abstract method not have a body.
क्या ऐड करना पड़ेगा रघु?
तो
Abstract
स्टार्टिंग में
keyword.
पब्लिक है ना, पब्लिक के बाद में यूजुअली हम क्या करते हैं, पब्लिक क्लास
Abstract.
बाद में लिख दिया वो उधर भी abstract मेंशन करना है, नहीं तो नहीं
Abstract.
लिख सकते.
Correct. So abstract syntax of abstract class, abstract class, then class name, and curly bracket start, curly bracket close. So abstract class name, that could be anything. So I'm just putting public. So abstract class name. Okay. Now under this one, and this is our constructor, and this is our abstract method, and this method does not implement any body, right? Because we can't implement any body on the abstract method. Now we'll create non-abstract method. Create non-abstract method. How to create non-abstract method? Just put void start. Suppose this is one method, right? This is because it doesn't have abstract, so that's why it's become non abstract method. And the difference, see, the moment you don't use abstract, you have to implement the body. So here for non abstract method, you cannot put like this. It's an error because it is say see it's showing missing method body, means any non abstract method you have to implement the body. Okay, this is the difference between abstract method and non abstract method. In abstract method we don't implement the body, but for non abstract method we have to implement the body. So this is the implementation. Whether you're putting any code or not, that's fine, but the moment you start curly bracket and curly bracket close, it means it's you are implementing. Yeah, so here also we'll do some print system.out.println.
1 second. So abstract method, are we going to print in main method only, right?
For that we'll create a main method to access all the classes, because we will have 4 different class: bike, TVS, Honda, Yamaha,
नहीं,
right? So
पहले
we'll
abstract का print करके दिखाओ ना, कैसे print करते हैं?
So abstract you cannot directly implement. Okay, that let me finish first now, so everyone will understand what I'm going to do it. Okay, we'll call abstract method, we'll call how to call that also I will tell you. Just see this one. Okay, I will show you. Okay, so this is non abstract method. Now what I'm going to do here, also I'm putting suppose some message by started. Okay, just something. Okay, now I'm creating another method. Create static method. Create static method. Now for static method we have to use the keyword called static, right? Static, any static void stop. So no return type, right? Because it's a void, and no parameterize also. Here we'll again do the system.out.println and do some message by stop. So this is our class, right? Okay, if you go to the node, for an abstract class must be declared as abstract keyword, which we already did it, right? Then the second point, it can have abstract and non-abstract method, which we have abstract and non-abstract method, right? Abstract method does not have body. So abstract method does not have a body. Okay, the body, see, just see this line. The body is provided by the subclass or inherit. So if you want to call basically this method, right, you cannot call it from here. Okay, for this, to call this method, you have to call from the subclass or you have to inherit. Otherwise, directly from abstract class, you cannot call abstract method. Okay, this is the line. The body is provided by the subclass. because here you can't, if you call also this method, there is no use because you are not implementing anything. So that is why for any implementation, if you want to do modification on the method or something, right, for that you have to inherit from the child classes or the subclasses. Okay, third point, it cannot be instantiated to access it. It must be inherited from other class. So abstract method or abstract classes, you have to inherit it from other class. You can't, call from here. Okay. So that will not possible. It will throw an error because it's a abstract. It can have constructor and static methods. We have a constructor, right? And we have a static method also. It can have final methods which will force the subclass not to change the body of the method. Okay. So if you put any abstract method as a final, okay, in that case, in subclasses or child classes, you can't change the body. That we'll see later. Let's create subclasses. So this is one class by class, and we have all four things: constructor, abstract method, non abstract method, and static method. Okay, now let me create another class. So this class would be, suppose, TVS. Okay, now TVS. So TVS class. Okay, so basically TVS class will extend which class? By class, because this become our parent class also, and based on the point, the body is provided, okay, by the subclass. So in subclass we can implement, or we can implement the body for abstract, you know method. Okay, now let me create this. So public class TVS, it should be extend, right? Inherit, we have to inherit, so we have to use extend. Now which class? Byte class. So we are extending byte class. Now I will call that method the moment I put, right, bike run. So it is showing bike class, right? It's overrid. So the method is overridden, okay, from this class. So this is our bike class, and here you can see you can implement the body now. But in case of this run, right? Where is your run? See, here we can't implement the body. Suppose you want to print any print, we can't put, right, because it will throw an error. Or we cannot do like this also, right? This is also because now it's inherited. You can see this I came, so it's called, it's implemented. Okay, so directly we cannot, implement, okay, for any abstract method. Okay, for that what we have to do, we have to inherit. And now if you want to print something, suppose I want to print, println, I want to print TVS child class run implementation. Okay, so this is I'm doing run method, but basically this method came from this parent, means by class, and now here in subclass only we can implement. Okay, this is override. It's overriding the same method we are calling here with the modification. We can able to change it. Okay, now this fifth point, you see, it can have final methods which will force the subclass not to change the body of the method. So if any method I say abstract method as a final, right? So the moment I say final, so it will stop. You can't implement here. Okay, you can see the message run cannot be override. That means you cannot override because the moment you use a final, right, you can't modify anything. So that means you can't implementation. You can't do implementation. Okay, the moment you use. So that is the use. Okay, any method you don't want which can be implemented by subclasses, right? In that case, you will use final keyword. Okay, this is the point. Just if you go through all this point, you will understand better way. Okay, let me create another class. So this is for TBS and we have a run method, right? Now just close it because we modified, we implemented this run method right here. So for TBS classes. Okay, now let's create another class which would be Honda. Let me copy. Okay, this is Honda class. Now this is also subclass of which class? Bike class. So we'll extend from bike, right? So bike class. Okay. Now here again we have the same method, right? This void run method. Just we can call it run. This method we can call it, right? So void run. Right, we are calling this method. So this run method also came from byte class, right? Now here also I'm printing system.out.println. I'm saying Honda child class implementation. So it's override, right? The same method we are overriding here. Same method name is same, but body we in previous classes we explained, right, what is method override. So this is the overriding. The method name must be same, but we can change or implement the body with, okay, for the same name. So now this is what we did, we overriding. Okay, and this is overriding from by classes. Okay, now this is also done. Now let's close both and we have another class. So that would be another child class called Yamaha class. So this is Yamaha. Again we have to extend class. Now for this also we'll do void. The moment you type void, because we have a void, right, and this run, so we have one start method also, right? So if you go here, start method is non-abstract method. Okay, that also we can call, but now we are seeing only the abstract method. We can call both because we are inheriting, right? We have inherited all these properties from the by class. So we'll just choose the run one because there is no body, right, and on by class. So we'll implement the body here. System.out.println. So now we are saying this is Yamaha. Yamaha child run implementation. So what is the use in real time? Okay, let me explain. So what happened in real time scenario? Suppose you have a salary, one method, okay, salary uh, method. Okay, salary for employee or salary for some school. Take some example for a school salary one method you create. Now in salary method, right, there may be a different set of designation, right? It could be for teachers, right? Teachers, or it could be for peons, right? Or drivers, right? Everyone will get the salary. But what happened here? The salary method only you have created one method, right? So you have not implemented, but you have a method salary. Now for the teachers, the salary range would be different from the PN or for the driver, right? So in that case, you can use this as an abstract method for salary, so that which salary you want to print, right? On that case, you can implement. Suppose this or bike only. Now you want to know the price of bike. So I want to know for Honda this model, what is the price? Instead of run, okay, price, model price, or bike, price. So in that case, every class has a different, every bike has a different range, right? The price would be different. So you can't create, you will not create each method for each class or each bike, right? So in that case, suppose you have to maintain 10 20 set of bike models or something like that. In that case, what you will do in base class or parent class, you will just create one abstract method. Okay, suppose price, or yeah, anything. Okay, and that you want to know for Yamaha it should be this one, for Honda I should get this one, and for TVS I should get this one. So the moment you call that particular class, right, and then you will get to know, okay, this is what the price for this bike. So this is the real time example for the abstract one. Okay, so we have created three classes, so we can't call it or we can't run it because there is no main method, right? So for this, we'll create a main method. So test abstract class. So this is our main method, test abstract class. Okay, now we are not going to extend anything. Okay, we'll just call, because we can simply call method, right, or objects by using the class name, right? So what we'll do, first we'll create a main method here, because for execution we need main method. And now I will create object for bike class, because this is our parent class, right? So I will create object first to call that method, right? So create an object. Okay. Now how to create an object? So this is my class name, right? Now any object name obj equal to, now you want to, in bike class there is nothing, bike is just a, there is nothing, right? For suppose run or price, we don't know. So we will not create object for bike class, no, we, because there is nothing. So what we can do here, we'll create object for all the child classes. Suppose I want to know the price for TVS. So what I will do, by class object equal to new. Now you see you can create object for all this, right? Class also, TVS also, Honda also, Yamaha also. So we'll see for the Yamaha. Okay, what is the price, or what is the properties. So call object dot. Now which one our method? It will be run only, right? Because run was the method which doesn't have any body implementation on base class or parent class, right, on bike class. So we want to see this one. Okay, so run, for example. So if we have other classes also, dot start. So start also we are accessing from which class? Bike class, right? Because we have a start also. So we can access, right? Because we are creating object for this bike class object and this TVS, but we are accessing this start. In our TVS there is no start. How we are accessing? Because we are extending, right? Because we are extending the bike class, so TVS class automatically can access the properties from the bike class, right? So whatever bike class have, we can access it from any class, right? Because we are creating bike class object equal to new TVS, and TVS has only this run method, but this method doesn't available under TVS, but we inherited property from the bike class. That's why we can also access it. Okay, this is the use of inheritance. Okay, so now bike that run method, start method, right? So basically run method is what? This is non abstract method. This is abstract method, right? Abstract method. And now this is of start is non abstract method, right? This is non abstract method. Let me copy this one. So this is non abstract method. Now again there is one stop is there, right? If you go to bike class, you can see there is a static. So static, how to call? Do I need to do obj dot stop, or what I will do? How to call static method? Anyone? Are you there, guys? How to call static method? Anyone, Raghu?
Directly, no need to call. I mean, so directly we can call, right? Static.
How
Without
to call?
object.
Tell me.
Go that bike class. Show me the static. What is the name?
Hmm. This is our static method, right?
Yeah.
This is our static method. Now, if I want to call, how to call this method? On this class. We have covered, right? How to,
Yeah.
what is static, how to
Yeah. Yeah.
call. I will take your time, no worries. Anyone answer? Google it or do something, whatever I need, please give me the answer. How to call static method? We have covered that topic.
एक मिनट रुको भाई.
Everybody can Google it and tell me the answer. Whoever. That means you people are not even practicing, right? Cover so far. I will give another 2 minutes. Then I will tell.
रघु ने जैसे बोला डायरेक्ट कॉल करो ना उसको.
Okay. I call like this.
Stop.
Not like that. Or go that bike class एक मिनट क्या है उसका नाम? What's your name? Bike
हाँ,
class.
बाइक
Stop.
क्लास.
Stop है ना?
Hmm.
Okay, go there. Here.
Where?
And
Okay.
in main method.
Hmm.
Print. SOUT.
प्रिंट आउट डॉट पे ना. हाँ,
Bracket में
स्टॉप कॉल करो.
stop.
Okay.
क्या error आ रहा?
Syntax error.
Okay.
This.
लोकल है ना एक्चुअली देखो स्टैटिक एक्चुअली वो लोकल है ना वी कैन नॉट क्रिएट.
Okay. Now let me tell you. So if you want to call any static method, right? So basically, because you are calling this method, this class method to another class, right? So normally for non-static method, what we have to do, we have to create the we have to create object for that class. Which class? Bike class. So bike class object, then we are accessing all this. Okay. Now for static any static method, if you want to call from another method, so basically again the class name, which class static method you want, first you just type that, because you are in another class. Okay, so first put this bike class dot, then you will get all the methods if it's available. So bike class dot stop. I'm just putting a comment, calling static method from different class. Okay. So this is how we have to call any static method from different class. First the class name dot method name. Okay. Okay. Now if I am to create object for example Honda, what I have to do? Now tell me. Anyone? Because I am accessing now this TVS class. Now I want to access Honda class. What I have to do here under this main method?
ऐसे ही कॉल करो इसको.
कैसे आप बोलो?
go
आप
that
बोलो.
होंडा
previous
को जाओ
एक बार.
थोड़ा.
सॉरी.
होंडा डॉट जावा पे जाओ, फाइल पे, क्लास पे.
by class object create करो. So object you have to create by class obj1 equal to new Honda.
obj1
new
okay,
इक्वल
sir.
टू न्यू होंडा.
new Honda.
New Honda, right?
Now obj1 dot
obj1 dot
dot
run, right? Run because this is also we have abstract
Right.
method, so we are again calling from the by class, and obj1 dot, again we have a start method, right? And this is non-abstract method, and again we have to call that static
By
method by class. So the class name dot stop. So again we are calling static method from the different class. Okay, now we have created object for TVS Honda. Now which one is left? Yamaha, right? Similarly, just I'm copying it. Now making it 2, and now I will give Yamaha. Rest everything will be same, right? Now let me print. So we'll print each and every class, okay, and see what happens. So that's how we access, okay. And now here we will not see here what it started by class constructor created. So the very first thing, the moment you, for constructor, how it happens. So the moment we create an object, right? So constructor automatically call, right? That we already discussed. The first priority will go for constructor, right? So the by class constructor created because we have a constructor. So the moment you create any object, right, for this by class, and the constructor implicitly call, that's why it got printed by class constructor created. Now the second line, TVA child class run implementation. So this run, right? So basically we are calling, we created object for this child class, right? TVS. So this run for TVS is this message, right? That's why TVS child this printed implementation happened. Now the third non-abstract method, it's a start method, which is non-abstract method, which came from by class. So this message will print by started. Now the fourth, by class dot stop. So this is static method again for by class. For stop we had message by stopped. Okay, similarly, so we have created 3 times the object for all the child class. That's how these are printing. So this is implicitly this constructor will call the moment we create object, right? So object we create, and this will immediately it will call, like implicitly it will call. Okay, the first it will give, I gave the example, right? First position, second position, how it would be, right? So that's how it works. Okay, so basically the abstract, right? So suppose you are not implemented on the main class. So scenario also example wise I gave you, right? So instead of putting in one class, one method, it's very difficult, right? So you can't, override that method. So for override concept, the method name must be same, but the body implementation would be different based on your requirement. So you can change the body implementation based on your requirement. So you can implement. So this is the advantage of abstract class. Okay. Any question on abstract class? Please tell me. These are the very important things.
Makan, when you're in main class now, why we need to
Mhm.
create all this non-static, then non-abstract?
Why we are creating? We are just calling here, right? Not creating. We
Sorry?
have to
No,
we
that
have
is what. Why
create-
you're using all these 4 methods in one class? If you go by class, you're adding constructor plus non-static, abstract, non-abstract, all 4 you added right here.
right.
Then why
So
you are
this
adding all 4?
is,
You want to show the sample, or this is a method you want to use in automation? Or
see, in abstract method, suppose if I want to do, okay, and if how to call object this by class
you'll create object and you'll call.
obj new obj, right? New by class. Okay, now basically what happened in real time, the base class, suppose there will be some class, okay, where you, so this is optional, okay, these are optional. The only purpose of this is the abstract and the abstract classes. So here if you go to the this point, right, so abstract and abstract class must be declared with the abstract keyword. So how to access abstract class with the child classes, right? How to implement. So now if I want to implement, I cannot implement, right, this run method. If I want to implement, so I can implement, I cannot implement on the by class. For that I have to create child class, because child class can only access, modify the this method, run method. Okay, this is optional. I have created one class so that you will, because in real time you have to, connect with multiple classes. Okay, now how to access from this class to that class? So if you have some one main method, you can access any classes just by creating an object. So now when I ask how to call the static method for by class, you don't have any answer because you don't know, right? So this, that's why I created this is separate main method where we can call all the methods, all the classes from child, parent, all the classes, okay, even for the abstract class also. So if you
whatever
want to
we do for
implement,
abstract now, so we can implement in inheritance also, right?
in means I didn't get.
Inheritance, what we done, right? Accessing from child
Correct.
to parent, we can use that one also, right? Means I'm just
That
asking.
only we did, na? Inheritance only we did, right? We inherited the properties of by classes to the child class, right? This extend, using this extend keywords. We are inheriting.
Here we have created 5 classes. Instead of 5 classes, we what we used earlier, no? In one class, we added all these 5
That
classes, right?
also we can do.
Mm.
No, that also, Raghu, what I'm saying, you can create multiple classes in one classes also. There is no issue.
Okay.
But in real time, there may be a chance where you can have a different set of, pages. Suppose if you do any automation, okay, for example, so take example for Google, no, Gmail. So, okay, for Gmail, suppose, and you will be having page object model concept. So for inbox, all the element will keep in one class, right?
Correct.
For out send, you will create another class. You are not going to keep in one page, na? So you will have a separate pages, right? And everything should be inherit from the base class. So base class would be your browser launching and all, right? In that class only you have the things, launch the browser, close the browser.
अतुल
That's
भाई,
main of the. Hmm.
बस ये समझ नहीं आ रहा कि देखो ये तो इनहेरिटेंस में चला गया ना, एक्सटेंड जो कर रहे हो इनहेरिटेंस में चला गया,
Right.
राइट? ये
Yes.
एब्स्ट्रैक्ट का फंक्शनैलिटी क्या है?
Okay. सो एब्स्ट्रैक्ट का ये फंक्शनैलिटी है कि आप कोई भी मेथड का नाम जब एब्स्ट्रैक्ट लिखोगे, वो मेथड का बॉडी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन उस क्लास पे नहीं कर पाओगे. ओके,
अच्छा, मतलब इट
मतलब
काइंड ऑफ रेस्ट्रिक्टिंग दैट.
राइट, आप कोई भी मॉडिफिकेशन नहीं कर पाओगे। ये जस्ट आपने एक मेथड क्रिएट किया। अगर आपको अभी इसका बॉडी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करना है, चेंजेस करना है, तो ये ओवरराइड कॉन्सेप्ट हो जाता है। ठीक है, ये तो आप क्या कर रहे हो, सेम मेथड को आप मॉडिफिकेशन कर रहे हो विद द हेल्प ऑफ चाइल्ड क्लासेस। सो इन यही है इसका मतलब एब्स्ट्रैक्ट का। एब्स्ट्रैक्ट क्लास का यहाँ पे पॉइंट्स में भी है कि एब्स्ट्रैक्ट जो क्लास होता है उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं कर पाते हो विद इन द सेम क्लास। आपको उसके लिए इनहेरिट करना पड़ता है फ्रॉम द सब क्लास और चाइल्ड क्लास बॉडी को। ठीक है,
Okay.
तो मैंने एग्जांपल भी दिया सैलरी, राइट। जब आप बेस क्लास पे कोई सैलरी का आप मेथड क्रिएट करोगे तो सैलरी अभी किसी का भी हो सकता है, राइट। किसी का भी हो सकता है। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर एक स्कूल है तो टीचर का सैलरी रेंज अलग होगा। तो आप उसके लिए ऐसा मेथड थोड़ी बनाओगे कि यहाँ टीचर सैलरी, पियोन सैलरी, ये सैलरी, वो सैलरी, आप ऐसा नहीं करोगे रियल टाइम पे। आप एक ही मेथड रखोगे सैलरी। ओके, सो फिर उस केस पे आप इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हो फ्रॉम चाइल्ड क्लास कि चलो ये पियोन का सैलरी है, इसका सैलरी ये होना चाहिए। जस्ट मैं एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ। ये मान लो प्रिंसिपल का सैलरी है, ये सैलरी अलग होना चाहिए। ये नॉन टीचिंग स्टाफ का है, इनका सैलरी ये होना चाहिए, राइट। तो बट आपके बेस क्लास में आपने एक ही मेथड बनाया जो आपने एब्स्ट्रैक्ट रखा। आपने बोला मैं इसको अभी कोई भी मॉडिफिकेशन नहीं करूँगा, मैं बेस्ड ऑन द रिक्वायरमेंट जहाँ जहाँ पे मेरा जो क्लास है क्लास के हिसाब से मैं टाइम टू टाइम मैं चेंज करूँगा। अगर ऐसा कुछ है तो वो इनहेरिट मतलब एब्स्ट्रैक्ट ही कर सकते हो विद दैट क्लास। अभी मान लो ये टीवीएस का है तो टीवीएस क्लास में टीवीएस का 10 डिफरेंट मॉडल्स हो सकता है ना। तो आप मॉडल सब लिखोगे ना यहाँ पे कि मॉडल ये मॉडल वो। सो सपोज ये अज्यूम करो ये मॉडल समथिंग मॉडर्न मॉडर्न ए एक्स वाई जी 1, इसका प्राइस मुझे चाहिए, इसका बिल्ड ईयर चाहिए। फिर अनदर और एक मेथड रह सकता है, उसका भी अलग हो सकता है, राइट। तो प्राइस, जब आप प्राइस मेथड रखोगे तो बेस क्लास पे अगर प्राइस आप डायरेक्टली आप बोलते हो प्राइस, तो आपके पास मतलब अभी टीवीएस का अगर शोरूम है तो मॉडल वाइज क्लास क्रिएट करोगे ना। पूरा इंफॉर्मेशन एक ही क्लास में एक मॉडल का पूरा कंप्लीट रखोगे, राइट। जो भी है इंफॉर्मेशन वो मॉडल का कलर, क्या क्या कलर अवेलेबल है, क्या है नहीं है। तो उस हिसाब से ये एक्सटेंड का एब्स्ट्रैक्ट का यूज होता है।
गॉट इट।
तो जब भी हम अब्स्ट्रैक्ट क्रिएट करते हैं तब भी हम इस ऑटो ओवरराइड यूज करते हैं क्या?
ओवरराइट ये यूज नहीं है, ऑटोमेटिकली आता है। इसको रिमूव भी करोगे नो इशू, इट्स ओवरराइड हो रहा है ऑटोमेटिकली। ठीक है, ये द मोमेंट यू extend the parent class, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it will automatically override. Override we have covered, right? The method name should be must be same, but the body implementation can be different. If you remember, we have already covered that
Yeah, that's
override, right?
mm.
So this is over. So abstract, it will override. The same method we can use based on our requirement. Okay, we do not need to create multiple method. Okay, salary to one salary we can segregate salary for what, whom. That's how. Any other doubt? So why I have created these things, that also good question. So this is also part of, if anyone asks, can we create static method or non-static method or constructor if the class is abstract? Then yes, we can create it. Okay, so these are the additional information for your understanding. So the main focus was this, but these are the additional. So you can create static method, non-static method, constructor also, and abstract also. For any abstract class, you can access all of this. Okay, so here there is no main method, let it be. You got my point, or any doubt? Tell me. And everyone, if you don't want to access from here, you can try here also creating main method. Okay, you can see. So suppose I'm saying this main method, right? So all the methods should be part of this, right? Under the class only, na? I will anyway delete, otherwise other class will not. So constructor. Suppose I want to call but here it is overridden. So this is actually, for this I will get error. That's why you will get confused. That's why I created separate class. Okay, because you are trying to override the same method uh, within the class, and it's for you, it's very difficult to understand. So this is way we do in real time. Okay, we have a base class, all the page classes, and we communicate like this. Even for the automation script also, assume this is our test class. This is test class, and these are the page classes. Okay, and this is the base class. Okay. Okay, shall I proceed to the next topic, or any question still? You don't understand the abstract use of abstract method or abstract thing? Tell me. Anyway, I will push this, after this session. Please answer. If you don't understand,
Yes.
I can explain again. I
Move to
will,
next.
otherwise I will think you are confused. Okay. So I already pinged last time this one, so I am just deleting.
कॉपी पेस्ट कर दो वो.
ऑलरेडी है, लास्ट टाइम भी मैंने दे दिया था ये.
Okay, ठीक.
जस्ट रिपीट किया. Okay, now abstraction is done. Now the another concept is interface. What is interface or interfaces? Okay, so an interface is an abstract class basically. Okay, an interface is an abstract class that is used to group related methods with empty bodies. Basically, body would be empty. How? I will tell you. I will show you. Empty bodies or body. Okay. So any interface, okay, it will have no body. So just syntax I am writing. Syntax of interface, how it looks like. So the keyword interface, okay, then space, then the interface name, or or the class name, whatever. Okay, suppose interface name. Okay, this is how, and curly bracket start and curly bracket close. Okay, so basically the name. So first keyword would be interface, and whatever within this, the name, and this. Okay, but before we go for the syntax and all, there are few points or rules for implementation of interface. How you implement? So there are few rules are there. So we need to know. We First rule, we cannot instantiate instant one second instantiate an interface. What does it mean? What we are doing? So basically, when you create an object, right? Where is our test class? Okay. So when you are creating an object, right? This is what by class is a class, right? So and TBS also it's a class. So you can create object for a class. Okay, you can create object for a class, but you cannot create object for an interface. That's why we cannot instantiate an interface. That means we cannot create object for interface. Suppose if by class is your interface, okay, just assume. So you cannot say like by class obj equal to new by class, because interface we cannot create a object for interface. Are you clear with this point? If clear, then I will proceed to the next point.
Okay.
Okay, now the next point, an interface. These things are very important. Okay, the notes which I am typing here. An interface does not contains contain any constructor. We know class can have a constructor, right? But an interface does not contain any constructor, means we cannot create any constructor for an interface. This point also clear? Guys, please respond yes, no, then I will proceed. These are the very important topics which I am discussing. If you are stuck these things, then it will be very difficult for programming.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Others clear, right? An interface
Yes, yes.
doesn't contain any constructor. We cannot create constructor for any interface. You can see here for by class we have a constructor, right? We have constructor, but if it's an interface we cannot create constructor. This is what. Okay, now come to the third point. All of the methods, right? All the methods in an interface in an interface are abstract. So all the method, right? Whatever the method, if you create any interface, all the method should be abstract. You can't have any non-abstract methods and all, okay, in interface. Means you can't create. All methods should be abstract method only. That's it. Okay. And an interface cannot contains instance fields. That I will cover later, okay? But just I'm writing this one. You will not understand now. Okay. So basically, let me explain. So an interface cannot contain instant field, means the only fields we can appear in an interface must be declared with a static or final. So anything you are creating, right? Any instance, like any instance you are creating, it should be, final and static. Okay, you have to declare that. We'll see in a program. Okay, that's why I was not ready to tell. Anyway, the next point is an interface is not extended by any class. Extended by any by a class or any class. Okay, means if you have any interface, right, we cannot use extend keyword. Okay, we cannot use extend keyword, but it is implemented by a class. Suppose we want to use the properties of any class, right? So normally what we do, we use extend. Okay, extend keywords, right? For we are extending because class can extend another class. Okay, but in case of interface, what happened? A interface, okay, a class means, the point what I'm saying, a interface is not extend. If you want to extend a class, right, a class to interface, then you have to implement. Okay, so just I'm writing this note, the difference you will understand then better. So the first point is a class extends another class, right, which we did it. Another class, a class can extend another class, we saw many examples. Okay, and interface in interface extend another interface, that also possible. Interface can extend another interface. Okay, a class implements an interface. This is only the difference. If a class wants to implement any interface, then they will use implements keywords. This is also a reserved keywords, like it's implements. Okay, in Java. So this interface, whatever, right? So a class implements an interface, and interface extend another interface. A class extend another class. Okay, so this is the fifth one. Now sixth point is an interface can extend multiple interfaces. Means one interface can extends multiple interfaces. These are the points, okay, for interface. Okay, and last point is, let me recall. Okay, by default, abstract methods of the interface are public. By default, it would be abstract methods of interface would be public by default. Okay, by default it would be public only. Okay, now under this syntax, right, so any I will just create a program so you will understand better. So are you clear with these points, all these points, or not, or should I explain again? So the interface, let me repeat again. Okay. So an interface is an abstract class that is used to group related methods with empty bodies. Okay. Now the syntax is interface and the name and the curly bracket start, curly brackets ends. Okay. Now there are few rules. These are the rules. Okay. Rules for interface, implementation of interface. We cannot instantiate an interface, meant we cannot create object for a interface. Okay, so we can create object for a class only, not for interface. And interface does not contain any constructor, so it's not like a class that we can create a constructor. No, interface does not support any constructors. We cannot create. Basically all the methods of an interface are abstract. It should be abstract method only, means no implementation, because empty body, right? The definition itself shows empty body. The interface should be empty body. That means basically real time how it use. So for the developer point of view, I'm just telling, okay, suppose one PO requirement is we have to create some, page. Okay, suppose any employee page, employee info. Okay, so PO told just I need, some, form regarding the employee info. Now what happened? They PO is not clear with the requirement as of now, because it's a very initial phase. Okay, so they are not clear, okay, about the implementation, because details, they don't have detailed info, okay, regarding the what developer will implement, right? So initial phase, but anyway they have to do the design things and all, right? So basically design team will do the design first, right? And then it will go, review with the developer, then based on the design they will try to build. So anyway they can't stop at the final moment, for the final moment, right? When PO will provide all the information, then they will implement. No, developer can't wait, right? Because 2 weeks of sprint, right? So they have to start. So there, I'm just telling one example. There maybe there are a lot of examples. So in that case what they do, because they don't have a body, they don't know what to implement, so they, in that case they will go with the all the abstract or interface concept. Okay, so they will just create the method, okay, not implement. So that's why it shows empty body, because no implementation. So the implementation they will do once the requirement, they are clear with the requirement and all. Okay, after that they will just create. Okay, that is the use of abstract or interface. Basically interfaces mostly developer they use because of this reason. Okay, so when they are not clear initial phase, when they are not clear with the requirement, but they have to start the design thing or coding stuff, then they just go with this, so later they can implement. Okay, that's why this is the use of interface. Okay, so they can have multiple, so one interface can extend multiple interfaces. So are you clear with the interface? Why they use, when they use, and what is the use of interface? And all these points are there. You can just read and try to understand these points. And this one, by default, any abstract method of the interface are public. So you don't need to explicitly mention public like public class or like interface something. By default, by nature, it's a public only, all interface. That's why, because why it's a public, here you can see, and like an interface can extend multiple interfaces. If it's not in public, then how will interact with other interfaces, right? So that's why for what happened, they put all the interfaces by default by nature as a public, so that we can access from other package, other classes and all. Okay, that's why it shows existent multiple interfaces or class. So any class anywhere within the project you can access. You do not need to mention implicitly like public. Okay, are you clear with this? The points what I discuss.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Is it okay to remember? Right, but you have to go through and just do the practice, so you will remember for a long time. Okay, now let me create one program. Okay, so for interface. Okay, so okay, anything I'm just putting. Okay, show name. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm removing, because by default, oh sorry, my bad. Because this is not a class, we are creating interface. Okay, so what you will do, right click on package, new. Okay, and the moment you click on class, okay, you can see interface I, right? So I means interface. So whatever you are typing, show name. Now we will just choose this one, just double click. Okay, now you can see this symbol became I, right? And by default it's public only. Okay, whether you remove also doesn't impact. It would be by nature it's a public. And you see this is not a class, right? And class syntax, see, you can see here C means class, I means interface, so it indicates it's an interface. Okay, now if I do main, okay, let's try all these things. So how to create object, we do this, right? Obj equal to new obj. So see, the moment you type here, seeing you method can be implemented or override, but you cannot create object. Okay, these are the inbuilt method for interface. Okay, this has code, clone, but you cannot create object for interface. The first point is only clear, right? We cannot create interface. Okay, is the reason. Now let me create few thing here. So this is our interface. This is not a class, huh? This is interface. So I'm creating one void show name, and it's a parameterize. So for parameterize, I'll put string name. Okay. So you see the difference. So if you go here, we said, right, all the methods with empty body. The moment you say empty body means this is the syntax. You can't do like this. It will throw an error, because see, interface abstract method cannot have a body. Same note, right? It should be empty. It can't have a body. Are you guys clear? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, let me write some notes also. So methods are abstract by default. Okay, abstract by default. Default and public. You do not need to mention here public. Okay, here also you can mention, but by default is public. That's why you are getting error. You do not need to. What happened? So you don't need to put here public. Okay, it's by default public only. So methods are abstract and by default and public. So you don't need to mention here public. Okay. Now another interface I have to create, right? So we have point one interface can extend another interface, right? Means we can implement, right? See, one interface can extend multiple interface. Just take this point. Okay. Now for another interface, how to create interface? I already said this is optional. You don't need to mention public. Now tell me what to do.
Again, you have to
Hello
create
guys.
after public interface show
No,
name.
public don't require. It's
Yeah,
it's optional.
interface. Interface.
Uh, interface, any name,
Show.
suppose show age.
Show.
Suppose I'm putting show age. Anything we can give. Show
Okay.
age.
Okay.
Now show age will extend what? Remember we said interface can extend an interface, extend another interface, right? But I cannot say implement. Okay, it will not give even because interface cannot implement another interface. Uh, you are now see an interface
It
extend.
is implemented by class. What is that?
Okay, a class, see that we saw a class extend another class, right? That we saw.
Five.
Okay,
5.
right. So an interface can extend multiple interface. That's what we are doing now. We are extending.
Okay. Continue. I thought implement.
No implement. We can implement class. A class can implement an interface. An interface extend another class. Means these are similar, right? Similar interface are similar, so they can mingle with extend keyword. Okay, a class can mingle with another class using extend. But if a class
interface, we should use implement.
interface implements, correct.
Hmm.
Okay, that's the different. Okay, now this is the show name, right? So now what you have to do? Curly bracket start, curly bracket end. So this is another interface, similarly like class, right? And we are extending another interface. Now here we can have a method void, okay, show age. Suppose something show age, and it has a parameter also like int age. One parameter I'm putting. Okay, and we can't do like this, right? Because why we are not able to do this?
Body is not allowed, right? Means there is no body for.
So because by nature it's abstract, right? So we saw abstract method how it's, right? So we have to use this one. Sorry. Okay, so we have two interface now. One is show name, one is show age. Now, if we want to access, right? So what to do? Suppose we have another interface. Suppose, for example, okay, we can create class here also. Let's create a class, public class interface demo. We'll see all the things. So what I said, a class can implement an interface, right? So let me point out this one. A class can implement. So what I will use keyword? Can anyone tell? Which keyword I will use? Implement, right? So implements. Then if we want to access age, right? For example, we'll put age. Then curly bracket start, curly bracket end. Okay. Now suppose public Now we have all this method, right? Don't just ignore that error. Okay, the moment we implement, we will not get the error. So we have show age, show name, right? These two are there, and these three you can see, right? These are the inbuilt method for interface. So we are not going to call this below 3. We have just call this one. Okay. So we'll implement. First, we'll see show name.
Through class, through your accessing interface, right now?
Yeah. So now system.out.println, for example, name, okay, is name. Okay, so I told anyway it's by default, right? So we do not need to mention that public and all. So this is one. So it's, you can see override. It's overriding, right? All these things are overriding. There also I'm just taking this. So instead of this name, we'll take this age, right? So this will be pointed to this. This will be pointed to this. So a class implements this one. Okay. Now we'll have one main method, right? We can call from here. Okay. Now what to do? Tell me. This is something tricky one for you guys. Now tell me what I have to do. If I want to call all this print, right, to get the print of this,
Creating
what I have to
object
do?
here, right? Okay. Show name dot.
How show name? Show name is what? It's a interface, right?
Yeah.
I already explained we cannot create object for an interface,
I'm
right?
not saying, I said right, we are not creating object here.
We have to create object, right, to access those. If
Don't
you
we
want to,
creating objective for interface?
बट इंटरफेस
we
में क्रिएट
can't,
नहीं करते ना ऑब्जेक्ट.
right? We don't create object for interface, but if I want to get the printout for this two line, what to do here in main method?
We can call
That's
class
I
name.
want. Okay,
Class name is
class
interface
name,
name
anything, object name,
equal
then
new.
new
Then you
interface demo.
interface demo.
Correct. This is our class. So we can't, first thing, we can't create interface object for interface. Okay, so what we did, we implement these methods. If I want to call, right, if I want to call, so what we have to do, these two interface we have to implement, right? So we are implementing show. So automatically show is extended name, right? It's extended name. Automatically both the methods are overridden. You are getting my point? The moment I extend any like show, right? Now the show is suppose child, okay, and this one is parent. So if child is accessing parent, and if another suppose this is some other one is able to access the age, then indirectly or directly he can access this one also, na, show name also, right? Because it's a link, right? So, and here what we did, we cannot create object for interface. So that's why we have implemented all the, classes, all the interfaces to a class, so that we can achieve, we can get, we can access all this stuff. So now obj, okay, dot, now you see show name, show age. So it's a parameterized. I have to put some, I'm putting Raghu, okay, obj dot show age, suppose I am saying 40. Okay, so this is how we have to do. Okay, so
नहीं,
now
अजीब लग रहा है यार, क्योंकि तुम उधर डिक्लेयर करके फिर उसको क्लासेस थ्रू एक्सेस करके फिर इधर वैल्यू देने से अच्छा क्यों कर रहे हो इंटरफेस इधर, हम क्यों करना है? जस्ट आई एम आस्किंग क्वेश्चन. ओके, सी यू डिक्लेयर्ड इन इंटरफेस. ओके, in show.
interface, that also I told, right? The initially when developer are not sure about the implementation, right? So in that case, what you will do? Suppose these are the show interfaces you created. You don't know what to use. Okay. For example, you don't know the implementation. But here,
इंटरफेस का बेनिफिट
what you
क्या
are.
है? इंटरफेस का बेनिफिट क्या है? क्योंकि इट्स द सेम, राइट? आप क्लास में जैसे कर रहे हो, ये इसमें भी वैसे ही कर रहे हो.
बट क्या होता है इंटरफेस पे, जब आपको इनिशियल लेवल पे आपको इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होता है तो आप बैठे नहीं रहोगे ना एंड मोमेंट तक कि पीओ, मान लो कोई स्टोरी आपको डिजाइन पीओ
ओके,
का रिक्वायरमेंट है, ठीक है, एंड पीओ से आपको डिटेल्स अभी तक नहीं मिला क्या क्या इंप्लीमेंट करना है. अभी इंफॉर्मेशन है एम्प्लॉय इन्फो, नेम हो सकता है, आईडी हो सकता है, कांटेक्ट नंबर हो सकता है, बट आपको पता नहीं है ना क्या करना है, क्या क्या फील्ड डालना है ये
सब डेवलपमेंट में आता है
पर्टिकुलर.
ना, ऑटोमेशन में नहीं आता है ना?
सॉरी,
ऑटो
नहीं 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 नहीं, इट कैन बी पॉसिबल. So in just real time in Java, these are the concept, right? You may implement or may not implement, but you should know, right?
हाँ, वो मैं
You
मेरे को
may
पता
not
चला.
implement,
आपने
ना?
बोला कि ये सब डेवलपमेंट साइड में आता है ना, क्योंकि
Right? It's
तक
a
डिजाइन
very
नहीं है, वो क्या करे, वो
correct,
बैठ के सब
correct.
करेगा. जब ऑटोमेशन मतलब करने वाला नेक्स्ट टाइम है, वो फिर उधर से कॉल करके इधर वैल्यू देते जाएगा. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, जब हम
Correct.
ऑटोमेशन करते हैं ना, मतलब वी नीड टू मीन्स इसको पता रहना चाहिए, लेकिन नॉट लाइक दैट वी आर गोइंग टू यूज दिस थिंग्स इन आवर ऑटोमेशन, राइट? वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू यूज, राइट, ऑल दिस
Yeah.
कॉन्सेप्ट्स यू आर
So
यूजिंग.
no, it depends on the design of the framework. Few framework I have seen they have interfaces. Okay, so basically it depends how you implement interface in your things. Okay, so it depends, but you should know this is the one other concept, right?
ओके.
And also that hybrid we covered, right? Hybrid and multiple that thing
You
cannot
are
be
talking
achieved.
about
You should
inheritance, right? Single level,
inheritance,
first
right?
level,
So
level.
right, these two, if you want to achieve, then we need to implement interfaces. Otherwise, you can't do it.
मेरे को
Okay.
कॉन्सेप्ट समझ आ रहा है. क्या मेरे को क्या लग रहा है कि ऐसा लग रहा है कि डुप्लीकेट हो जाए, क्योंकि इंटरफेस में तुम डिक्लेयर कर रहे हो, फिर आके उसको कॉल कर रहे हो थ्रू क्लास से, फिर क्लास से फिर नीचे आके ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करके फिर क्लास थ्रू से फिर वैल्यू देके हम प्रिंट कर रहे हैं. मतलब वो स्टार्टिंग टू स्टेप्स है ना, मेरे को थोड़ा
Right. So basically क्या होता है जब we are not clear about the requirement, right? What should we implement? For example, when you don't know, you are blank. That time we use interface. That's very simple, like, okay.
ओके.
Because when you don't know the implementation, so mostly developer they use it, but as a programmer, right? You should know this concept, na? That's what I'm saying.
ओके. ओके.
So because it's just a blueprint, okay? Basically, it's okay. You are saying to the PO, okay? I don't know what would be your information details, but I have created this method. Okay,
If you
this
want, you
will
can call it and print it.
yeah. So basically, info something, it's a checkbox. Suppose some button, right? So in UI, this info would be some button or some API, right? But they have designed it. They don't know the inner implementation, but for the demo purpose, they can show that, right? The high level, so that these are we did it, but the moment we get the entire details, then we'll implement. So we can't wait, right? They cannot wait till last moment, because in real time what happened, even before ending the sprint 2 days before only we people get to know, okay, this is the requirement, we need to test this, right, in manual. It happens, right, sometimes. So developer can't sit like this, na. Developer has to build from the day one only. So in that case, what happened? They do this in they just implement. They don't implement. They just put the design and all, and they don't use so that they can't be stuck. Okay. So this is what they use, and the benefit is also there. So what happened? There is a again benefit. If you go to my note, you will see a interface can extend multiple interfaces. Okay, so if you have a lot of interfaces, you can extend by extend keyword. Okay, extending that 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to extend, right? You can extend it multiple uh, means multiple interfaces you can extend. Okay, that is also one advantage, na, that
In
you
class
can't.
also, we can extend multiple,
How
right?
many?
Huh?
How many you can extend means it can. So see, the concept is what in using that, see, implements, right? Now I am implementing this class. Suppose
Correct.
this class implements this. Okay, now suppose I want to implement some other, right? So this is way we can implement lot of things. Now suppose go to the bike one. Where is our TVS or bike? Now if I want to extend, okay, let me extend this one. So basically we extend, right? Extend, which one will extend? Bike class.
Correct.
Bike class, comma. Can I do like this?
No.
Honda.
No, you can't do.
Can I do like this? No, na. So that is the advantage. If you go to
Open.
my node, so interface can extend multiple interfaces. Okay, that's the plus point. And by default, it's abstract and public, so you can access from anywhere. And that is the thing, okay. But you should know interface, okay, interface, because people they ask a lot of things. So it is used to achieve like abstraction. Suppose basically when you don't want to show the implementation, okay, the purpose is when you don't want to show the implementation to anyone, okay, you just put it high level. What high level you want to put it means nobody can access it. The implementation I told, right, the suppose sending SMS and all, right? So the inner implementation you don't want to show anyone, you want to hide them. Okay, so this
Okay.
is you can this is the use of interface, like it is used to achieve total abstraction. Means you can abstract means what? Suppose someone is not you are not sure whether why he is not speaking, why he is not mingle with others. So
By
maybe
guiding
you're
the
thinking,
implementation of details, right?
so hiding, right? And also like this is the use, okay, and it is also used to achieve like it's losing some compiling, okay, lose coupling things and all, means you don't want to show all the information, so you just show this, okay, this is my method, but what I am going to implement, that I will not going to show you, I will implement later. So that's okay, that's the thing. So interfaces are used to implement abstraction. Actually, basically, these are all the abstract, right? These are abstract class only, all the methods only. So it only used for abstract. Suppose you don't know the real-time implementation, or you want to, suppose you don't know, right? Or you want to achieve from, we saw in abstract, right?
Okay.
Suppose you want to override, this is the way we override it. The same goes for this also. Method also we are overriding, right? All this thing we are doing, we are overriding, right? Here we are not able to modify anything, right? But here, see, for interface also we are able to modify, right? We can modify here, na? What you want, we can print here. So that is the use. So this is the use of abstract classes.
Okay.
So class, just last, sorry, I took a lot of time. It's a very important thing. Okay, so in class, what is the difference between a class and interface? This is what, okay. In class, you can, in instantiate, variable, create object, right? We saw previous classes, we
Correct.
create, but in interface, we cannot create any variables or object.
Objects.
Very clear, right? Both the things can't be possible. Or okay, second point can be class can contain like you can use implement the methods and all, right? Modify the method means the moment you create in class methods you can modify, right? Curly bracket start, curly bracket close, and you can do whatever you want. But in interface cannot, right? We can't because it's abstract, na?
Correct.
Interface, the methods are abstract, so we cannot do any modification on the interface methods. And the third point is like class can be private, protected, public, right? Even default by nature, it's a default only, but an interface only public. It can't be, if I the moment I put private, it will throw error. Because if see the first one is public, that's okay because it's our main interface, right? The first interface. If you want to extend, right, to other classes and all, it should be by default, it should be it's a public only. You do not need to explicitly use public. Okay, by nature it's a public, by nature. So, sorry, I took too much time today, but I hope you are clear with the abstract, right? And interface concept. What is the use of interface?
So
And
I'm
I
getting a bit confusion, man. We need to go detail wise.
yeah, you just go through again and write program.